It is Friday, March 22nd, 2019. Bitcoin is trading inside a parallel channel, but the indicators are showing divergences. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin. You can pause the video to read our disclaimer or click on the link in the description down below. Yesterday we had some very interesting Bitcoin price moves. We had a double top here and the Bitcoin prices came down quickly and dropped more than $140, $130 in US value in about 20 minutes or half an hour. But then prices have stabilized since that pullback. If we take a look at all four of the main markets that we're watching here, we can see that Bitcoin, Stellar, Ethereum, and Litecoin, all based in US dollar here, all of them took a dip back at the same time, and yet all of them have resisted. And right now, as we're talking, they're starting to show strength and breaking up out of these consolidation patterns. So what we'll do with this show now is we'll zoom into the indicators to see what are they telling us about these markets as we're standing right now. Certainly we can see that we have a great oversold area here. As the prices plummeted, we came to an extreme oversold range on this time frame. And as we zoom out to the 3-day view, we're in the 15-minute bars now. We zoom out to the 1-hour bar, we can see how this fits into the overall perspective and what a sharp oversold spike this was, and how this has bounced higher and is showing more strength as prices are picking up with the RSI. So that's pretty positive for rejecting those lows yet again. So here we are in the parallel channel that's been building up. So we're at the bottom of this parallel channel and an ideal time for it to take off. But if it's not going to take off and this is a top formation, this is going to give us the first early indicator of where to be taking action on the short side or getting out. Now we have a very clear position here and a nice parallel channel that gives us a very specific exit spot if we do get that. Let's go take a look at the on balance volume. We can see that for the first time we actually had a red. Let's see if I can. We actually have red here. Before the price came down, we had this red candle. And we're looking at this in the 12-hour bars. Let's zoom in on this now to see what happened as we close in. So we can see that on the 4-hour bars, we didn't get into negative volume here. Overall, on average, this didn't do enough damage to push us into the red on the 4-hour bars. And that's pretty good. When we zoom into the 1-hour bars now, we're starting to see how this was, let me grab a scribbler, deeper, more selling than here. And they're not parallel lows, but you can see that there was not as much selling here. They just ran out of steam. So there's another indicator that prices probably are going to be rebounding up from this and stay within that parallel channel. We start to zoom in a little bit more, we can start to see where the on balance volume has been picking up. Overall, we had a sharp bit of selling here. The bears were hoping for it, but the bulls there's just a demand for these currencies right now. And the demand is small and it's global. So there's thousands and thousands of people making small purchases and hundreds of people trying to trade as a speculator to knock it down. So this is why the market overtakes these speculators, if we are indeed in that position. Now this is interesting here because of the crossover in this RSI, the MACD indicator. We still have higher highs here, but that crossover is concerning on the 12-hour bars. When we zoom into the 4-hour bars, we can see that crossover happened right at the dip here, and while we are in a negative histogram, it has started to pick up to be more positive. So that's got to cross over as we're going up. As we zoom into the closer time frames and we're in the 1-hour bar, we see that's already crossed over. We've already moved to positive histogram, and the histogram is increasing in strength so that the size of the histogram bars is getting larger as we're moving along right now at this point. And that's pretty keen when we're looking at the 1-hour views. Get into the 15-minute bar and it's not quite as clear. We see the crossover earlier. As this came down, we can see this crossover as the point that it's lost its energy. It's lost its power to the downside. So overall, when we're looking at these, I do believe that this was just a quick push down and that the trend will continue on. However, it's given us a very clear top formation now, so that if prices do break below these levels, it's a whole different story. And those are the things we need to be watching out for now. These clear levels, if you are long from earlier, there's nothing to sweat about. And I think that overall the cryptocurrencies are agreeing that this is a bottom formation. Prices are going to be coming up significantly. We talked about on our live stream for the cryptocurrencies last night, we had a couple questions, and people were asking me about why I think this is going to be going up. And I referred back to, let's pull this back, to a time in the past where I was very calling a top formation all the way along here. This seemed like a likely place for prices to top out and pull back. But you can see that after we had this consolidation, much like we're having right now, ascending wedge, really testing it at the top here. A lot of bears were ready for it to be cracking back down. This was a huge move up at the time. We went from $200 to $460, so it was more than double. It was huge. Prices really did get a big test here. Looking at the 1-day bar, so this day was a real tester all the way back down to these levels, but the market completely rejected that and had a huge run up. And this is what I'm expecting from 440 to 740. That was doubled in price from where it was, and over a very short period of time. So this is where I'm expecting as well that we're going to double in price in a very short period of time. It'll come up to the $6,100 level without a great deal of struggle. Those are my predictions, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the 24 hours of Bitcoin.